All right, welcome back to another episode of All Sports with Avery Sherman. We are here once again. Sorry about the inconsistency. I don't know, those of you who know, if you watch my channel, you know that I'm trying to run another podcast as well. So things get a little hectic for me, but we're back again. We're looking to build consistency and get this channel, get this podcast on the road and up and going and flowing and going good, pretty much. So we're gonna dive right in, pretty much. If you want to know why I've been MIA, you're gonna catch up with my other podcast. And I broke that down in my last episode on my podcast. So tune into that, and that'll give you a little update to where I've been. Other than that, we're gonna dive right into the sports though. So as we know, my favorite sports team, my favorite baseball teams is baseball season right now. Football season on the way. Today is September 5th, my son's birthday. I didn't grow up celebrating birthdays, so forgive me for checking the date on my phone, even though I just took my son to school a couple hours ago and dropped off his cupcakes and everything, but still the date slipped my mind. So, but today is September 5th, and the Cubs beat the Giants yesterday, and the starting pitcher got his 16th win. I forgot the guy's name, honestly. I just seen it this morning, and I forgot his name. But shout out to the Cubs starting pitcher from yesterday. He got his 16th win of the season. And we want to give a shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson for doing her thing. She just won a race, and it was a big race. She's considered the fastest woman in the world right now, and we just want to give her a big shout out because last year, or in 2021, she had a hard time with a number of different things. They were just giving her a hard time in the media. So we're just gonna give her a shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson for sure. Props to winning your race and everything, and continue to be great, and be a good example and a role model for the young girls out here in the world to strive to be like and strive to be to have the success like you have had and running track and a number of different things. So just want to give a shout out to her. We're going to do as you can see, I'm in my garage. We're in a different location just for a little bit more quiet and a little bit more being a little more quiet and just me and you guys. I can focus in on delivering the best channel, the best channel possible. I can focus on delivering the best channel possible and the best episode and best podcast, sports podcast possible. So, yeah, a deeper dive on the Crawford and Spence. I got a number of different feelings about the fight, man. Let me just get on here and say, man, I was heartbroken. And I say heartbroken because I love boxing, I love sports, I love competing, I love to see it. And the person that I was mainly rooting and cheering for, and who my heart was in it with, was Errol Spence Jr. So, unfortunately, things didn't go as planned, and as I would have liked, and I'm sure as he would have liked as a fan, as I would have liked, and I'm sure as he would have liked himself, was to get the win in the match. And like I said, things just didn't go as planned. So, did I think things was gonna go like that? Obviously not. I was going for I was going for Errol Spence. So I didn't think that Terrence Crawford was gonna beat him, but definitely give her respect and shout outs and congratulations to Terrence Crawford for going in there and handling his business and doing what he was supposed to do. some of the feelings that I have about it, I did feel like Spence just looked like he was stuck in sand. That was the best example I heard. I think Derrick James had said that. It really just looked like he was a plane going over right now. I don't know if you guys can hear me that well or not, but it really just looks like Spence was stuck in sand. From his arms, like somebody was just holding onto his arms while he was punching, and it looked like his legs were just stuck in like cement or quicksand or something. So I'm not really sure at the time what was wrong, hearing different things that have came out after the fight. I heard he had a rib injury weeks prior to the fight, and he wasn't able to spar. And him coming off a 15-month layover, I obviously feel like and think that would have a great deal of effect on being able to go in there against a top class fighter, not being able to practice fight going into a major fight. So that's one thing that I definitely feel like has something to do with it. And if no telling if the rib injury was still lingering or not. I know it's even hard to breathe with a rib injury. Inhaling and exhaling is painful. It hurts to inhale and exhale. I'm speaking from, I don't know if I had a for sure rib injury or not, but I'm speaking from a place of being hurt in this area of my body. And up in this area of my body, and in my back area of my body, and to take deep breaths in and out, it was painful. So I can only imagine with the ribs, and then to even do certain movements, I'm sure it was painful. So maybe that was a little bit of an understanding as to why it seemed like he barely could move or barely wanted to move, really. As far as cheating, they were saying something about some raps situation with Terrence Crawford. I'm not too sure about. I'm not going to speak too much on that and put an opinion out there as far as do I think he was cheating with the raps. I don't know the rules in Vegas, and I don't know how his hands were really wrapped. So I'm not going to speak to that, but there was a video where people were speculating about that. Also, there was something that was a little bit more concerning to me was the boxing gloves. Floyd, I'm gonna go back to Floyd Mayweather, and I want to say Madonna fighting and Floyd Mayweather not approving of Madonna's Everlast gloves, and then I'm gonna go forward to Terrence Crawford last fight versus in the boxing world, I don't know if this is real, how you pronounce the guy's last name or if it's a joke, but they call him David I've Been Sneezing. So David I've Been Sneezing, the Terrence Crawford versus David I've Been Sneezing fight. Terrence Crawford wore Everlast gloves that did that post fight. There was a picture that came out of the gloves. We're not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure if those are the gloves or not, but the gloves that were shown in that post fight picture look beat up, and they have the same tear marks that occurred in his gloves during the fight. Now, I did hear a video, I'm not sure if that was the accurate audio or not, but it was a video saying that during that fight, of them saying that they didn't have any other gloves. And that was a little questionable to me, to just not have brought another pair of gloves, because anything could have happened to your gloves while you was there, and then what? The fight would have just been off. So that was a little questionable to me on Terrence Crawford and his camp's behalf. And then, like I said, for the gloves to rip like that, that was questionable to me. I never heard or seen anything like that. And even though Everlast came out and made a statement on his behalf, like, still, obviously they don't want their maybe one of their top best fighters who wears their product, or any boxer for that matter, to have to deal with it seeming like they cheated while wearing their equipment. So Everlast came out and said it was a malfunction on their end, obviously, because they want the boxers to still feel comfortable wearing their equipment if you ask me. That's why I think of that. Like I said, there was a video saying that the Everlast gloves are thinner, and not every fighter can use them because it does a little bit more damage to your hands. I don't know anything about that. Obviously, if Errol Spence or Derrick James approved him to wear the gloves, there was approved or whatever. So that's that. It was a little questionable to me, though. I do wonder about Terrence Crawford's gloves, and are they padded the right way? Are they the newer gloves that's approved or supposed to be worn in fights, and not some older worn in gloves? Another speculation about him using steroids and the snack thing, the Victor Conti and everything. I do think it's something funny going on. I don't take too many coincidences, two or three coincidences in a row, or two or three things being a coincidence with the same two things. I kind of start to fall in favor of the thing, or whatever it is that's it being coincidence. So Victor Conti obviously has steroid performance enhancement drugs. He's had a few different situations and being caught up with scandals and things that are involved in him cheating. And then he has this new little thing he calls snack. And the boxers are using it. And I remember Terrence Crawford promoting it 2 years ago and being all over there on snack, and people saying he was juicing and using steroids. Him and Terrence Crawford going back and forth about on Twitter. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford going back and forth on Twitter about who was taking steroids or juicing. And Bomac said himself that they've been prepping for this fight for quite some time. So I don't know. Terrence Crawford did look surprisingly powerful in that fight, if I do say so myself. So these are things I'm just curious and wonder about, and wonder if it had any effect into the fight versus Errol Spence. If none of the things are true, I definitely give him all his props and respect for winning the fight fair and square, and like I said, going there and handling the business that he was supposed to handle and take care of what he was supposed to take care of. He made me eat my words. Moving on from the Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. deeper dive that I wanted to get into. The Twins beat the Guardians. They scored 20 runs. Royce Lewis hit his third grand slam of the season. Shout out to Royce Lewis. It's major, my boy. 3 grand slams in 1 year is unheard of. I won't say unheard of, but I'm not sure if it's happened in baseball yet or not. I'm probably sure it has had, because it didn't say it was like record breaking. But man, that's a major props to accomplish that. And college career, he hit a home run as well. I'm not sure who else hit home runs that game, or if any more home runs were hit by the Twins. But just shout out to the Twins. Obviously, that's my team. They beat the Guardians. Shout out to the Yankees. Last I checked on my Yankees, they beat Detroit. Not sure in their last game how they fared. The football season is coming up, and my team is the Vikings. And this off season, this draft, we got the Blitnikoff Award winner from last year, Jordan Addison or something like that. I gotta double check his name, but excited to have him. 2 really good wide receivers up there in Minnesota, and we are 1-2 in the preseason, which I'm not big on preseason and how well teams fare there. And I don't think it's much of an indicator on the type of season your team's gonna have. I seen an article saying that would the Vikes trade for or get Dak Prescott since Dallas got Trey Lance, maybe at the end of this season or going forward. In any shape, way, or form, as a Vikings fan, I do not want Dak Prescott to be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Um, it's just how I feel about him as a quarterback and my team, at least. I don't want him to be the quarterback of my team. So, no disrespect to Dak Prescott, I just like that. Just how I feel about my team and what I want. But, yeah, I think we got a chance, obviously, to make the playoffs and everything. Nothing about the roster besides us having two top receivers in the league makes me feel too. Makes me have a feeling that we're gonna make it to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl or anything like that. But I have faith in my team every year, and I think we can. Obviously, anything is possible any given Sunday for sure. So, do I think we start off the season beating Tampa Bay? I do. So, yeah, that's my prediction for my team starting off the season. I think we beat Tampa Bay, and I think we do make the playoffs this year, and hopefully we can win the Super Bowl. Shout out to Simone Biles. She recently made history. Her 8th national all-around title, breaking her previous record she held, tied with Alfred Joachim. That's I'm assuming his last name is pronounced. So just want to give a shout out to Simone Biles. That's a major. Congratulations on that, and once again, being a great inspiration and a role model for the young women out here. Continue to do that and be an inspiration to success. Staying on Olympic athletes, Noah Lyles recently won a track race. Congratulations to him as well. After the race, he made some comments about NBA champions being called or considered world champions. And he received a lot of backlash on that, and I gotta say, I think it was well warranted, if that's the correct terminology. My opinion is obviously the same as many of the other players, and this is even before I heard their opinions. And that's just that the top players in the world are looking to get to the NBA because everyone knows that's where the top basketball players in the world are competing at. And with that being said, they are world basketball champions because there's not a team out there in the world who can beat the Denver Nuggets in the 7-game series. If LeBron James couldn't do it, and that well-coached Pat Riley and that well-coached by Eric Spoelstra and put together by Pat Riley team with those tough, great players over there couldn't do it, ain't no other team in the world gonna do it. So those are the world champions of basketball, if you ask me. So that's that. Moving on, college football is back. It is back, baby. With that being said, Notre Dame killed Navy. USC beat San Jose. Shout out to Caleb Williams, Zachariah Branch, and Nick Nash. They all had some big games. Nick Nash being a wide receiver from San Jose State. Zachariah Branch being a wide receiver, I want to say, from USC. And Caleb Williams, obviously the quarterback of USC. They all played well, and like I said, USC dominated. Heading back really quick to Sha'Carri Richardson, it was nice to see that some ladies that she had lost to back in the previous race, she was able to defeat in this race, and her and some other girls, some other black girls, they from other countries all united for a picture, and that was just beautiful to see. Black girls of different nationalities all coming together and showing unity. But going back to the topic of college football, shout out to my boy Deion, prime time, baby. They knocked off TCU. Just to not harbor back, but just to go back and be as real as I am, and as real as I am and am I am always going to be. I was upset with Deion for leaving Jackson State. At the same time, I realized I understand what he was going after and what he's doing and trying to accomplish at the same time. So I didn't get to share those sentiments because at the time, just because I didn't get a podcast done at the time. So I just want to be a real person and say that I was out there. The last, other than what has just transpired, the last big Deion Sanders media thing was him leaving Jackson State. And yeah, I was upset that he left Jackson State. At the same time, going forward and seeing how he was being done and treated, and then seeing what Avery was saying with everything that's been going on at Bethune-Cookman too. Like I said, I triple, double, quadruple understand what Deion Sanders is doing. First, in my opinion, for his sons, which is his priority, his responsibility, and I can understand him putting them before any and everything in life. So I get him and understand him. There was no not understanding. I was just upset a little bit for the community of Jackson, and if that is even the city that Jackson State is in. But yeah, just for the Jackson State, for the community, the football team, the players, the program, the fans, I know it hurts to see primetime leave, baby. Yeah, I just felt the pain, for them. But at the same time, I'm happy for what he's doing in the Power 5, And so they knocked off TCU. Shadur Sanders threw for 510 yards, 4 touchdowns. Dylan Edwards, he had 3 touchdowns. Dylan Edwards is a unique football player to me, if you ask me. I'm pretty sure he's a running back or listed as a running back. I got to double check that. But he had, he's small. How he's built is like a little wide receiver or something. He had a lot of catches yesterday. Shadur Sanders is like a Tom Brady out there, if you ask me. Like his movements, the way he steps up in the pocket, the way he throws the ball, the way he throw it away, he just looks like a Tom Brady out there to me. A more athletic Tom Brady, if you ask me. And obviously he worked out with him, this past off season and spent a lot of time with him. And man, he's looking like a little Tom Brady out there. And after that first game, I'm pretty sure his draft stock is real high. Shiloh Sanders had 10 tackles. Shout out to him, safety back there, cleaning it up. That's a big game, a lot of tackles, and the leader of the defense. And definitely want to give a shout out to Prime Time. Like I said, congratulations on that first win. I hope you guys continue the success this year and pulling for y'all to make it all the way to the national championship and win it. Shout out to Travis Hunter, dog. That's why Coach Prime got that D on your chest. You a dog. You definitely went out there and did your thing, my dude. 11 catches, buck something on the yards. That touchdown they took away from you. Interception. Could have had 2 picks. Man, if you would have had that touchdown and the other pick, boy, dog, man, that would have been one of the greatest football games ever played by a football player. It was the greatest football game ever played by a football player, but that just would have been even better, you know what I'm saying? But keep playing hard, bro. Continue the hard work. And like I said, shout out to the Colorado Buffs for sure. Moving on back into some boxing. Some accusations on Bomac. Brian McIntyre. If you don't know who Bomac is, he's a trainer for Terrence Crawford. Is being accused of having a firearm. He has another fighter, or he went to go train another fighter in the UK, and right now he's being detained, or he has been detained over a firearm. So I wish that brother well in that situation, and I'm just mentioning it here on my sports podcast. Like I said, I wish that brother well in that situation. Don't have too many details on it besides that they're saying that he was arrested and could be facing 5 years. And I'm leaving it at that. Like I said, I wish him well in that situation, and that's that. Want to give a shout out to Shannon Sharp. Club Shay Shay back up and running. He just had an episode with Stephen A. Smith. And that's beautiful. I'm a big fan of Shannon Sharp, the football player, and the media. Maybe not media mogul, but maybe a media mogul and just a media personality. Club Shay Shay's back, and he on First Take. They finally got that little deal done. So him and Stephen Smith was going at it today. They was having a Jordan LeBron debate about the media that I'll dive into in a few here. Just want to give a shout out to Lil Wayne and Skip and Keyshawn and Michael Irvin over there at Undisputed. They put a nice little team together, and I checked out some of their episode. They had recently just dropped with Lil Wayne and Keyshawn. And like I said, we'll talk about this little debate about Jordan and LeBron with the media situation. Definitely the media is more crazy right now for how it is nowadays. Especially with all the trolls. You can't get away from it, honestly. And and then LeBron got the kids. He got his kids, and they got to deal with it too. So it's no question the media is way more crazy and harsh. And I feel like the sign of who will be able to deal with it the best and the most, obviously, has been the Michael Jordan said, that moment when he was laying back on that sofa or that couch in the Last Dance documentary, and he was smoking a cigar, and he said it was peaceful until you guys came in here. He was sitting there, he was hiding out, man, and he didn't want to deal with that stuff, and I don't blame him, and not many people is built to deal with it, And I do understand the little argument that ain't no luxury that LeBron James has that Michael Jordan didn't have, though. I won't think that for 1 second. That there's any luxury that LeBron James has that keeps him from having to deal with the media that Michael Jordan didn't have. But what I will say is he's paid more, obviously, and him growing up in the technology era that he grew up in maybe equipped him a little bit better to deal with it. That's the only thing I can say about that. But obviously, I'm with Rich Paul on that argument as far as having to go debate between the two. It's definitely LeBron who has to deal with the media more, whether it be in social media or the real media. So that's that on this episode of All Sports with Avery Sherman. We're going to be back with more consistency in another episode here soon. Unfortunately, this episode I didn't have my music. Y'all know that music that I play to start every episode of All Sports with Avery Sherman. I did not have it this episode. I am sorry. I will have it next episode. And stay tuned for another one. I appreciate you for tuning in. Hit the bell button so you can be notified when I drop a new video. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content, if you like what's going on here with me, what I'm doing, what I got going on. And drop a comment, hit the like button, share this video, do all those good things. Until next time, stay tuned. I'm out.